He could stand on the front steps of the White House and commit murder, and I'm with him. They don't anybody compare to Donald Trump. He loves this country, and that's why I love him.
If somebody was, an American who was born gay thinks that the presidency matters and their issues matter, what would you say to that person?
They need to read the Bible. They need to read the Bible.
Is there anything that would disqualify him from your vote?
No, not at all. He hasn't done anything illegal.
There was a massive Trump rally in Pickens, South Carolina over the weekend, and town officials estimated the crowd may have reached over 50,000 people. Now, TYT was there and spoke to some of the folks who attended to hear the president speak. You just heard some of their thoughts. Now, his opponents were not exactly thrilled about what was going on at the rally, because particularly Nikki Haley and Senator Tim Scott, they felt that he was encroaching on their home state turf. Now, Trump was playing all of the classics, touching on, of course, his favorite, election fraud.
I will bring back free speech in America, and I will move heaven and earth to fully secure our elections. We have to secure. We have open borders, and we have really bad and corrupt elections. And therefore, we almost don't have a country, and soon you won't have a country if you keep that up. Our goal will be one-day voting with only paper ballots and voter ID in all cases. But until then, Republicans must compete using every lawful means to win.
He was truly in rare form at this event, and I've got some information on it, but first, Jackson, I'm gonna let you get in on this.
Donald Trump kills me because he just goes on stage and just says stuff. He's like, they want to take away your washing machines and your dishwashers, and we used to have hour-long lunches. I don't know what happened to that. Every time I go and I visit the union workers now, it's only like 20 minutes. I don't know what's going on. And the people in the crowd are just like, yeah, and he just says like literally anything. Like, it's just fascinating how this man says absolutely nothing. But yet and still, 50,000 plus people showed up. Donald Trump, obviously, look, unless something significant happens, he's already won the primary. He been won the primary. Nothing about that is going to change. But yeah, it's just hilarious to watch Donald Trump go up there and say absolutely nothing, and the people love it. So that's my initial thoughts on everything.
Everything you said just reminded me of the time he was on stage and he was chanting about toilets and how they don't flush the way they used to. And he was like, sometimes you gotta flush it 1, 2, 10 times. Not me, but you. He literally was he was calling his audience disgusting hogs that take massive dumps. And they were like, whoa, you're right, we do poop too much.
Right? Like, when I come to my supporters, neighborhoods, I think there's no way that these trailers can flush down those loads. Like, he's just, it's entertainment. It's really entertainment, which just goes to show how pathetically boring so many of our politicians are. But more importantly, I think that goes to show just a general disconnect in the culture. For the most part, people view politicians as old geezers who are corrupted by corporate America. And that's why somebody like Donald Trump, despite the fact that he's one of the most corrupt people the modern nation's ever seen, he's still the outsider. He's still not a politician somehow.
Right, and there was some, I don't necessarily want to label it corruption, but there was some, damage that was done to the city because of Trump's event, and it was like a huge scourge on resources. So let's get into that reporting from Politico. People flocked both from surrounding counties and other states to glimpse the twice-indicted former president, little shade there from Politico, whose presence in the 3 square mile city shut down businesses and strained municipal resources. Trump seized on the city's long-planned annual Independence Day festival, announcing the rally 2 weeks ago after Trump's team, with help from Republican elected officials in the state, convinced the city to agree to Secret Service shutdowns around its main business strip. In Pickens, vendors set up days in advance, and local homeowners tried to rent out $50 parking spaces in their front yards. Some attendees slept outside the entry gate overnight. The line to enter snaked through the city center Saturday as the entrepreneurial minded hawked camping chairs, bottled water, and hot dogs. Rallygoers ripped cardboard boxes into pieces to make fans, and Trump's campaign frantically brought around pallets of water and Gatorade to hydrate. the crowd. Now, his event was also a major disruption to the city. From that report, the Pickens police chief told the local newspaper his officers had to study, quote, every parking lot in the city to figure out how to accommodate the massive crowd. And it was like a surprisingly massive crowd. And Jackson, we've been covering, right, this Republican primary, but I think you're right. There's no competition. Trump, and I don't think all of his events are gonna be this big. I don't think most of them are gonna be this big, but he's won. He's already the candidate for the Republican Party.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, what else honestly could he possibly do except pass away to prevent people from voting for him? I mean, the audio tape where him literally saying like, check out these papers, and then him coming on and saying, I didn't have documents, I had a bunch of papers. If that audio recording was filmed, he would just say it was AI, or he would say, well, I mean, they were papers, they weren't the documents actually that you guys are saying. It truly doesn't matter what he does. And the other guy, Ron DeSantis, we've seen. Everyone knows now that just ain't happening. Yeah. And everybody else just kowtows to him and kisses his behind. So there's no one else in the party or really in the country who's anything like him, who's anything similar to him in terms of his ability to just make people pay attention, make people feel like, yeah, this is the man, especially not in this election. So yeah, it's over. Yeah, it's over, which is hilarious and sad at the same time, but it's over.